Welcome to the mental breakdown.
Thanks.
Salute. Cheers.
Salute. Yes.
Go
the
Doyers.
bubbly.
Go Doyers.
Yes.
I see you in your getup.
Thanks. It's a little subtle, but
God.
it's there.
You are from Texas.
I got the Dodger blue nails.
Oh, you got the Dodger blue nails. You're all LA'd out. And you've been here how long? 10 years? 20 years?
Oh, that's a complicated question.
Because you travel and stuff, but you've lived in LA
I've started coming to Los Angeles for pilot season when I was 8 years old, which would be 30 years ago.
Oh, shit. But you've been living here.
But I've been living here currently in this time and space of my life since 2016.
Okay. As a native, welcome. You are allowed. You are allowed here. You are no longer a transplant.
No. I consider myself partly because I am originally from Texas. I started coming to LA so young, and I did technically stay here from the age of 12 to 21, and then I moved back to Texas, and then I came back here in 2016.
All right.
So
you're one of us.
So I'm
You're one
I
of us.
consider myself.
You're in the club. You're in the.
do.
If you've been here 10 years, and you're not using your GPS to travel like a few miles. If you're not doing that, then you are an Angelino. And you know what? We don't fucking call ourselves Angelinos.
We don't.
I don't know who
I've
coined
never
that.
called myself an Angelino.
I don't. I'm still going to call it Staples Center. I'm not calling it crypto. I'm not.
No.
In-N-Out's not the hype. It's not that great. They don't have bacon.
Oh, we don't need that.
They don't have bacon.
We don't need bacon.
We don't need it that bad. And it's so simple, and people are just like, there's the big pink wall in Hollywood that the influencers go to.
Oh yeah, that's on Melrose.
That's a thing, and all these people like crowd it, and like that's not an LA thing. That's a transplant
thing. That's definitely a tourist
where
thing.
the influencers go. You know, I can't fucking stand it. But before we get into it, Miss Rheagan Wallace, Mrs. Rheagan Wallace, you're married. I'm getting it right.
It's all good.
What are you doing? You're doing movies and stuff. You're making short films.
I'm making short films. I've made technically we've made 4 short films since July of this year. They are all pro-choice short films. There's 3 different stories. We did 3 different very short films and then put them all together for this 4th. So it's like a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
All put into one.
I like that.
And there are 3 different stories about 3 different women, and what connects each one of them is that they are all affected by the abortion ban.
So it's kind of like that movie Crash.
It's just like Crash.
It's kind of like Crash.
It's just like Crash.
There's 4 different
There's everybody's stories all come together. That movie.
With Crash, it was kind of like racism, wasn't it?
It was a little problematic.
There was Terrence Howard and his wife, and then there was the cop, and then there was that Middle Eastern family.
Yep.
That was getting like hate crime shit, and all kind of like tied in with racism. But with you, it's all about the abortion stuff.
Yes, reproductive freedom.
Yeah. How crazy is that Roe V Wade happened in the 70s, and it's like, okay, cool. We got the healthcare, we got the stuff.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, we're fighting all over again.
Yeah. 50 years later.
Starting over.
Yeah. We're right back where
it's astounding
before.
to me how, America.
Yeah. Yes.
3 steps forward, 6 steps back,
Yeah. And we're using, again, they're trying to use the states' rights argument, just like a little thing called slavery.
Right.
Which I thought that we had established that anything that infringes on our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness should just not, we don't go there.
Did you hear about the Texas woman that was pulled over? She was pregnant, and
yes.
she was in the carpool lane.
Yes.
And just like, no, there's another person in the vehicle. I can drive.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and use that argument, then this person inside of me is a passenger.
Yeah, and like those 2 things were contradicting each other in the state of Texas. And it was like, use that.
Exactly.
Lawyer the fuck up,
Exactly.
man.
That's the thing, is that people are going to start having to get creative with how they fight this.
Yeah, for real. And creative is sort of like, would you say a coping mechanism to kind of like deal with like these things that frustrate you so much that kind of give you a mental breakdown?
Yeah. Doing in the process of making the shorts that we did, It was therapeutic. It was because it does. Anytime you're creating something and using your voice, it is. It is a coping mechanism because it is really hard to wrap your mind around, like you said, like where we're at now 50 years later, and just where we're at as a country as a whole is pretty scary. So there is a lot of being creative, of using our comedy. I'm gonna plug a project that's going on right now. It's not my project, but it's another project that some women that I know in Texas are producing. Their project is called The Lady Kings of Texas.
The Lady Kings of Texas.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy
that they are making about what's going on. And
fuck.
So the premise is that all childless women over the age of 35 are being hunted
God.
by the government. And they're
how Handmaid's Tale.
It's very Handmaid's Tale mixed with like some wacky, like very over the top, like comedy. They already have like a spec trailer out. It's really amazing.
Does it bring out the kid in you?
Just yeah.
I had to take it there. I'm sorry.
Zing.
That's my coping mechanism too. I need to use humor and creativity, comedic or dramatic, to deal with it, because if I expressed it in a non-creative way, I think I would be either like in jail or something more dire or serious or something,
100%.
Spray painting the courthouses or something like that,
You'd be a hooligan.
Setting shit on fire, because we all like react emotionally when things go wrong. And this is coming out, this episode is coming out after the election. I feel that there's going to be... I mean, no matter what the outcome is, I feel like there's going to be protests either direction.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a heated, emotional thing, and people will gravitate towards anger when it comes to these things. And I'm glad that I don't do that anymore. I would set shit on fire. I was just in my teenage years. I was like mad about like my upbringing. I don't know my dad. I was just kind of like violently acting out, getting in fights and shit. And then my mom's like, God, you need to fucking do something else. So theater, musical theater, comedy. It's keeping me sane, even though it's kind of like we're making fun of some of these very serious issues. And it depends on who you ask.
I think it does help people.
It does help.
It does.
It does help so much.
I think that there needs to be, all kinds of people out there using their art and their skills to talk about what's making them uncomfortable, what's making everybody uncomfortable, what's making people uncomfortable. Vulnerability, being able to be so vulnerable to be able to talk about these things, I think is it's not something that everyone can do, and it's I think it's like with the short films, they're very dramatic, they're very heavy. It is heavy stuff. Very, very heavy, but at the same time, I think that's it's still for me. It's I don't know. Fun is not a good word to use. But like we really enjoyed making them, knowing that we were, because it brought people together, just even in the process of making the film. My dad let us shoot one of them at his house. My dad was an extra in it. My aunt was an extra.
He just wants to be in it.
Really though. They're on IMDb now,
nice.
so that's super
so cool.
cute.
Yeah.
They love that, and I love that for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool because, I'm I think in doing this kind of stuff, this is gonna sound so cheesy.
It's okay.
But I think we learn about each other. We grow as people when you come together and make things with other people.
Well, you become a family when you shoot something.
Yeah, and I was like, this is my already family, but I ended up learning about them as people, I think. And because I was a little like not closed-minded, but I was a little like, I didn't think that if I shared with my dad, like, because I knew that I was going to be shooting this short film. I went to Texas to visit family, and while I was there, I was going to shoot the third short film that we were making, and with my creative partner who lives in Texas currently. And I didn't want to tell my dad that I was doing an abortion, a pro-choice short film. So I was trying to like keep it to myself and like not be so like, I was like, yeah, I'm shooting a short film, and they were like happy for me or whatever. Yeah. But I felt like they wouldn't be as supportive or happy for me if they knew what it was about.
Oh, okay.
But then I finally because we couldn't find a location.
Right.
My partner and I couldn't find a location for shooting, and my dad was like, well, what do you need? And I was like, well, I need a house. And he was like, you got a house
just to shoot it.
yeah. And I was like, Dad, this is my pro-choice short film. And he was like, Rheagan, I don't care. Aww. He was like, if it's something you are passionate about and it's something you want to, this is what you want to do, then I want to help you do it.
That's nice of him. That's really nice of him.
Yeah.
And I get where you're coming from, because, maybe your dad is different politically.
Yeah. My family's always been different than me politically.
Well, Texas.
Yeah. Which is, it's a whole topic.
Right.
But I think, right now, I think that multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
In that I have a hard time with a certain side of things.
Yeah, I get you. I have family in Oklahoma. I get it. Yeah,
right.
But
then I learned a lot about my dad, and how that he's not like, he doesn't hold those kind of like,
he's rational.
Things. Yeah, and he's not really as political as I thought he was anymore.
Right.
Really,
he's rational.
Yeah, and certain, I think, with a lot of things that have happened over the past few years in the world and in our country, a lot of people have gone through a journey and discovered things. A lot of people have.
Well, especially since we were all locked away for 2 years.
Yeah.
We had time to think.
Right.
We
and I
really
think a lot
time.
of it could have been bad for some people. They went down some bad rabbit holes, but I think enough time has happened to where some people have maybe started to come out of them a little bit.
Yeah.
Or, I think we're kind of like coming to a place where, we are realizing that we need to get along. Sounds
we need to get along. There has to be a happy middle.
Yeah.
Like, we're so polarized. Like, it's literally like, I'm watching the news and it's literally like, it's a coin toss. It's 50-50. And it's just, we need to find because I have conservative family members. Yeah. And I want to understand where they're coming from. Yeah. Because I'm really trying to I want to still, because I still disagree, but I want to understand.
Which I think
and
we
not
all should.
fight about it. We should be able to, discuss and live our lives and not, have a blown out spiritual or social civil war.
And I don't think it's about debating or being right. Or I think it's truly about having conversations and asking questions about each other to try to learn about each other. And I do. I have very strong opinions about things, but I'm also I also just know what I know, and I know that everybody else knows what they know. Yeah. But if we could try to, understand each other a little more, and I think that only can happen when we do things like, I think, making movies, shooting stuff, having, and not just making movies, but working together to build, to create something, to do something together. It's like, I've been spending more time in Texas than I hadn't when I went to Texas over the summer. I hadn't been there really in over 4 years. I hadn't seen any of my family, and all the COVID and all of that happened. So yeah, I didn't visit. And it does feel like Texas doesn't, it feels like hostile territory for women because Texas passed before even Roe was repealed. Texas passed the Senate Bill 8, SB 8, or AKA the Heartbeat Bill, which
6 weeks, 15 weeks,
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Wait,
Oh, God damn.
It's around 6 weeks. It
Yeah.
can even be 5 weeks because they detect a fetal heartbeat.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my God.
You know who has a heartbeat is like
Yeah.
a real heartbeat, is
Right.
The mom, but that's or the person.
I mean, that's so
who's
early.
pregnant.
That's so early.
Most people don't even know they're pregnant at 5
Right.
weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
That's so early.
Yeah. So that happened almost like in September of 2021, before June of 2022, when Roe was revoked. So in Texas, things have been contentious. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing, is that's why this whole leave it up to the states thing doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because no one in the state of Texas has been able to have a say up to the states who is the state. The state is obviously...
And you're going to have like another exodus.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's already happening.
People are leaving. You got to drive all the way to Colorado or New Mexico.
And then you've got cities like Amarillo who are literally voting on November 2nd for Prop A, they're voting on Prop A, which everyone needs to vote no on. Because Prop A would allow people to basically surveil the roads that are coming, the people that are traveling in and out of Amarillo. It allows you to spy on your neighbor. And it would make it illegal to receive abortion medication in the mail. And it's like, well, there's all kinds of very strange language in Prop A, and it's only in Amarillo. It's an Amarillo ballot measure, and they're having a special election for it on November 2nd, I believe. Which is this is scary. Like,
yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, because people need to know. Because the thing is, you can tell people in Texas are even to say the word abortion, to talk about it, because what SB 8 also contained, the Senate bill in 2021, is it allows any civilian to sue anyone who helps or performs an abortion, or helps anyone procure an abortion for a minimum of $10,000. You can sue someone
to like seek that out.
Yes.
And
it's basically putting a bounty on people who are seeking an abortion.
Their lives must be so boring.
Right.
To get so involved in someone else's business
truly
that doesn't directly affect you
in any way, shape, or form.
You know, that's not, because we can talk all day on matters X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Gay marriage rights here and there, abortion rights.
Yes.
Are you involved? I dated a conservative girl who, thank the gods she didn't get pregnant, but she got knocked up.
Ooh.
She got something in her drink. And she passed out at a guy's place. Nothing happened. Thank the gods nothing happened. But that conversation came up.
Yeah.
And she's very conservative. I'm like, what if you got pregnant?
Yeah.
What would you do? And she goes, I don't know if I would want the baby. I'm like, see? Because it happened to you.
Yep.
Now your mind's changed because it happened to you.
Right.
You know?
And
so,
what if someone, like, I read a story recently about, it was a pro-lifer who did everything. They convinced their, I believe it was either their sister, friend, somebody, like, had a serious convincing, and told someone they needed to go through with their pregnancy and have the baby. Then the baby, once it was born, was taken away by Child Protective Services. So Child Protective Services, that person whose baby was taken, put down that friend's name as the person who, one of the people who the baby could take care of. And that person was like, oh, no, wait, no, I don't want that. And it's like, yeah, that's, I'm right. Yeah,
sounds
you
like
don't,
that.
it's going to wreck your life. It's going to wreck your career. You can't financially support it.
Yeah. You know what's way cheaper than a child? condoms.
Yeah, that
Contraceptives.
Yes, and
IUDs
yes,
or whatever,
yes.
all the other stuff.
And that's the thing is that all of this legislation that's happening around abortion and reproductive freedom is that birth control is being attacked right now too.
Yeah.
Contraception is being attacked. So
and that's like a degree off. It's not just abortion. There's other stuff that's funded.
Yeah. So it's something that I know is being talked about a lot, like in the mainstream media and stuff, but I don't feel like people really know all the details and nuanced things that could truly affect our daily lives. Like probably not here in California.
Yeah, probably not. Like we're cool. We're fine here.
Yeah, but you don't want to get complacent and you want to know. Like for me, it's just important to know what is happening in our own country.
Yeah, well, and that's why you need to vote locally on stuff.
Absolutely.
You could write in Moo Dang for all I care.
Exactly.
You could write in the baby hippo for president as long as like you vote on like the local stuff. That's the shit that really matters.
Exactly. But that's the thing is that in states like Texas and in other states that have these super strict like abortion bans and things like that, they don't have local ballot. They don't have anything to vote on locally.
No shit.
So that has anything to do with
because it's
anything.
so rural. There's not a lot going on.
Because certain states have certain. There's certain ways that ballot measures are formed. Like in some states, civilians can come together and like petition for ballot measure certain votes, and then it will be put on a ballot. But in other states, ballot measures can only be introduced by the legislation, like the legislature of like that state. So you think these people are going to put there's like a certain number of, I could be wrong. I'm not like, I'm about the technicalities of all of it, but there's in like a state of Texas, all the people really have to vote on are, as far as like, you have your local representatives and stuff like that who can be, progressive
state
or whatever.
Secretary,
right.
like that.
But when it comes to actual measures on reproductive freedom or gay marriage, or like we have actually in California, gay marriage is on our ballot.
Yeah.
There are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because California is so, like, why were they even, like...
Because actually, Obama...
The option to flip it would be so unlikely.
Well, to think about it, it wasn't that far back in our history where Obama said marriage is between a man and a woman.
Right, yeah, and he code-switched.
Right.
He code-switched on that.
So, I mean, for us to put it like we just in the elections of 2022... was when we voted on the proposition that amended, put reproductive rights in our Constitution of the state of California. So that happened in 2022. So we are considered like, a safe place.
They would call it a sanctuary state. That's what the right is saying.
Yeah. Amarillo, the city of Amarillo, Texas, is trying to call itself with this Prop A a sanctuary city for the unborn.
Yeah, wow. That's fucking, dude. It's, you want to be informed. And I've said this on episodes past. You want to be informed, but you do want to remain sane.
Right.
Because this takes up a lot of bandwidth.
Oh, trust me. I know.
It takes up a lot of space in your head.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you have to, you definitely have to find time to do other things.
Yeah, you gotta, keep your head on your shoulders, because the people that super ultra care about this, they're protesting in the streets.
Yep.
They're honking their horns.
Yep.
In fact, on Ventura Boulevard just the other day, there was just a bunch of small dick motherfuckers in big ass trucks with their Trump flags, and I'm like, okay, good for you. Good for you, and you have the right to do that, but they care so much.
Yep.
We're we can keep that in your mind. You can keep that private or whatever. It's same with like religious people. Like you can keep that to yourself.
Right.
But to just really care so much and go out there and go do it.
Yeah.
That takes up so much time.
Oh, it does.
And the gas.
Oh.
Now we're spending money to care about this shit.
Oh,
and not everybody has the money to care about this. Could you imagine investing in hatred? Could you imagine?
That's the thing. Yeah. and that's the thing is that it's like, I have before been frustrated on like the my side of things on our the more left side of things where I don't feel like we are out there doing that enough because they're the ones that are louder than we are as far as that goes.
And then you got to be louder, and you got to make your movie. Right. Then you got to spend the money on the movie.
And then
everything's a fucking thing. I want to go back to the movie thing a little bit. It is kind of creative torture.
100%.
A little bit, 100%. So like, we were talking about like, we're team building. You're kind of forming a film family, as it were, because you're spending so there's dead time. You got to change the shot. We got to spend an hour
changing lenses.
We got to flip the room. We change the battery. All this boring like sit down time. So you have time to really think about. All right, here's the next shot.
Right.
Here's the next scene. And you're investing so much time in that to speak your voice on this. It takes so much fucking time. And, and this is such an important issue that I feel is going to be ongoing for years and years and years.
Like we've said, it's 50 years later, and here we are. So it doesn't end.
So the movies that are, they're out. They're out now. Like they're on Vimeo. Is there a way we can find it?
There's we just released yesterday. It's called Subjugate. And it's the first one is called Desperate. The second one is Requisite. The third one is Separate, and this one is Subjugate. Okay. And the fourth one is the combination of all of them, like I said. But they're all on YouTube right now. And I released it also on Instagram yesterday. It's this one is 21 minutes. The last one is 21 minutes long.
You got all 21 minutes on Instagram?
Yeah.
You can do that?
If you upload from your PC.
Oh yeah. God, I'm still a boomer with the tech.
Yeah. Oh, it took me a few uploads.
Yeah.
Because I did the aspect ratio thing was weird on the PC.
And that's a problem too, because people's attention span is just dwindling.
I don't expect people on Instagram to sit there really, unless they really do care and are really invested to watch all 21. Oh, sure.
There's people that do.
I know there are.
Yeah.
I can see that there are.
Yeah. You read the comments, the analytics.
Yeah, but I mean, it's for us, putting our stuff out there is like I try not. It's really hard, but of course, I tagged a bunch of politicians, candidates, government officials, people who I know are. Supportive of reproductive freedom in the state of Texas.
Yeah, you need to watch that movie and go, I really need to spit my fucking piece on that matter.
Yeah, because it's like, you want everyone who needs to see it to see it. It's one of those things though that it's like, of course you never go into it thinking you're gonna just have this super hardcore pro-lifer or whatever sit down and change their mind completely while watching it.
Right. Yeah. But, people that are so far into
the other side and you don't. But you also don't want to just be this echo chamber situation where you're making a movie only for people who already agree with you.
Right. Yeah.
So there's
you're not really moving the you're not really moving the what's the right analogy I'm looking for? You're not moving the pebbles. You're not.
Right. Yeah. You're not. You're not advancing anything.
It's just people going, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Right. So you want to. That's why.
And then they doom scroll to the next thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's hard.
And it's all hard. The algorithm just And it's hard with political content on social media. Certain social media apps do not promote anything that is political. So it's rough, but the thing is, it's really hard. But I try not to focus on the numbers. I try not to focus on, how many people are watching and how many people are, for how long. For me, it's about that feeling of doing it. We did it very diligently with a lot of thought and we did it really fast. We move really fast. We shoot really fast. We work really organically.
That's good.
And for us, it's about the process and the journey and the product itself being something that we can watch and say we're proud of. And then whatever happens after you put it out in the world, it happens, and we are not, these aren't films. We look at these more like PSAs. Like we weren't not doing like film festivals or whatever with anything like this.
That was my next question. Like if you were going to take it to anywhere beyond that. Yeah.
With this last one, with the one that we put all three together, we kind of have thought maybe this would be something that we could submit to festivals. It's just festivals are so. It's such a weird thing with because it costs money to submit to festivals. So, it's like you got to really that's a whole other thing of submitting and choosing what festivals you want to submit to and all that stuff. There are some really, if we were going to, I would choose, there are a lot of great, like, women in film, type festivals. There's a lot of like nonprofit organizations that I know that support filmmakers that are making projects like the one that we just made. So the way that these all came about, which is cool. So we have written a feature length film that we actually put the whole writing of the film out on YouTube.
Nice.
We recorded ourselves on Zoom the whole time we wrote the film. So we have like a bunch of like 4-hour long, like it's not like we expect anyone to sit through those or anything. Right. It's just kind of cool.
Look, people listen to Joe Rogan for 5 hours a day. You know, like there's also the reverse attention span where people are just all in.
Yeah, hyper focused. Yeah, totally. That's very true.
That's very possible.
Yeah, we would sit down in our writing sessions, we would record them all and we put them out there. We wrote this psychological thriller it's called Camera Obscura, and it's the same theme. It's not about like abortion, but it is basically the villain in our film is the patriarchy. And it's really cool. I've got to say, if I don't say so myself. I am really proud of this script, and we wrote it, and then we were like, okay, like, there it is, and then we were like, now what do we do? And then it was kind of like, well, and again, not that we're like trying to change anyone's minds. This is just our voice, our story,
it's just your voice,
and it's and if it does, move anyone further on their journey to discovering the truth of things, then that's wonderful. But after we wrote it, we were like, what can we do like now? Because we need like, at least a cool like $60K to do our feature. So we're like, what can we do now on a no budget, really fast, like before the election, to see if we can like, move some stuff in that respect. So we started writing these little shorts. We started reading articles about things that are actually happening. Like all of these stories that we shot are all based on real
shit
things.
That happened.
Yeah, we changed things and things in order to be able to shoot it. But all of it was inspired by stories that we were reading. Real actual articles on that were happening currently, like the day I was reading that article we wrote, the day the articles came out, we were like writing about them. So we started, so this kind of the short films kind of came from us writing. We have a feature that is it is about it's about a woman in a small town, and this small town is really creepy. And it's
why does that scream Hallmark Channel to me?
Hey,
woman in a small town finds a guy that collects butterflies. Turns out he's a homicidal maniac. Some shit like that.
Did you read our
script? No. That's very punk rock of you, because the industry, as you know, is kind of in free fall. Shit could easily.
We're in a weird time.
It's a weird time, but at the same time, people are still going to make stuff. It's just not going to have the crazy Hollywood budget.
Right.
And I don't think you need the crazy Hollywood budget, because as long as you have a story-driven, dialogue-driven
you can make
story,
things,
shoot tabletop,
You can make something very pretty, and you can make something look really good, and something very watchable for very cheap.
Yeah, and shoot it on an iPhone.
You really can. As long as you have, you can, if you have a very strong idea, you can make it work.
Yeah.
And really just finding a couple of people that you want to work with is really the key. I've been working with Cameron on stuff that we've just made together since 2013. And we've improvised a short film together in West Texas one time. Just drove out like 6 hours out to this like small weird little town and just made up a stuff that was inspired by an album by this band called the Antlers. They have a concept album called Hospice that is just quite
how fitting.
Yes, it's quite heavy. It's a story about, it's like the whole album tells a story about a man a caretaker who falls in love with someone who's terminally ill.
Yikes!
And it's not like a happy story.
Harold and Maude much? Jesus.
Man.
Deep cut
reference.
Sorry.
So he was like, so we were like just really inspired by this album, and we made up a story and drove out to Toya, Texas, and shot a movie and made it into something, and we won like 3rd place in some festival.
Oh, hell yeah.
Got like a cash prize.
Sweet.
So we were like, oh, okay. And it was like a festival here in LA when we were out in Texas. And we were like, okay, like we can, we did a little music video after that. It was like a contest for the Alabama Shakes music video entry. We didn't like win anything, but we made a really cool music video. There were tons of really amazing entries. So, so we've been doing stuff together for a long time, and he's in Texas, so it is. I wish we were more locally, together, geographically located closer to each other. But it is cool because, Texas is my other home. So it is, I like making things there, even though, it's like, it's one of those things where, again, talking about how polarized, everything is in our country. I think it's really important for people to still, like, there to be liberal people in Texas doing, obviously there needs to be. So it's one of those things where it's like, ugh, like I've always been like, I don't want to go to Texas. But then I go there and I'm like, this is part of it though. Like, we need each other.
This also creates opportunity for other states to do, what Hollywood's been doing. Everybody comes here to make movies. And like, did you know that there are communities and stuff? Like New Mexico shoots stuff
tons
too,
of stuff.
Cheaper too. And
they have a lot of great incentives.
Why limit yourself to this place? There's great weather here.
Oh yeah.
There's
and
a lot
LA,
of,
I 100% I do love. I really do. I am not a. I think that we do need to keep shooting things here in LA. We need more incentives. I know there was something recently.
Tulsa King is out. They shot that in Tulsa.
Yeah.
There's other film, and a lot of productions are going, oh my God, the taxes are too fucking high.
Yeah.
We need to go shoot somewhere else, which will create jobs in
Mm-hmm.
other states. It'll, it's a win-win. Everybody wins, to kind of limit it to right here. It keeps the bubble where it is.
Yeah. There is in Los Angeles right now, current statistics on the number of projects that are shooting. Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
So before 2020, there were about like 400 to 500 projects shooting in Los Angeles at any given time.
And how many of them are, get a pilot and get 10 of them?
But how many are filming currently at any given time in Los Angeles right now?
I want to say 50.
Yep.
50?
Yep.
Oh my God, that is such shit.
So,
because if it's only 50 and we're how big?
Yeah, like
it's not a lot.
So it's weird. Like all of my and I could be wrong about the 500 number, but that was what I was told recently. By
pre-Panini,
it
you know,
could have
of
been
course.
like, I mean, easy. And that's the thing, is that there was just so much content and so much, and there is, like, you watch TV now, and
Well, it sucks.
Streaming, right? There's so much content out there.
It's too much.
But so you think, like, well, where is all of that being shot? And that's the thing, is that right now it's not here.
It's not at a soundstage.
Right.
You know.
And there's only, that's the thing, is that there's only a small handful of shows, like my friend and I, who help each other out with our self-tapes. We both are constantly reading for, he's like a, much different demographic than me. He's like, is character-wise. But we're reading for the same shows. Like, that's the thing, because there's nothing else out there right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting significantly less emails on, like, casting stuff here or there, because everybody's in a free fall.
Yeah, and usually right now is a busy time of year.
It is a busy time.
Yeah.
But when I see the email that says, oh, casting 18 to 65, any ethnicity, I'm like, you don't know what you want.
Right. Right.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
So, like, the industry doesn't even know.
Right.
Because there's shows that are out there that people are just not aware of, because there's so many.
Oh, yeah, I hear of stuff all the time.
Micro trends,
I'll hear of a show and I'm like, what? Or
Catch this show on Apple
and they'll be like,
TV.
oh, yeah, it was on for 4 seasons. I'm like, when?
I missed
what?
the whole thing.
Yeah,
Oh, check out this show on Apple TV. I don't fucking have that.
Yeah. Oh, that's one that I
don't have that one. Paramount Plus. I don't have that one.
I have on and off Paramount Plus.
Like, my mom's she watches, my mom watches her shows.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 or 3 of them.
Right.
But there's so many.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, how are all of them succeeding?
But when you think about it, a show this is where we're at. A show can come and go and not make a single imprint on society, culture, anything in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Like, and it can be on for a really long time. Never, don't know. And I'm not sounding like back in my day, but I'm just saying, like,
we're at that point now.
I know.
We're old.
It feels.
Look at my hairline.
No,
Shit.
no, I refuse.
God damn.
But it's like, I don't. But there's just if a show was good enough to last back a few years ago, you at least would hear about it. You at least knew about it. You at least, and now, literally, like, I mean, a show can come and go, and you will never, ever know. There's just so many, everything is tailored to everyone's tiny little
their niche interest. And niche, because that spreads out ratings.
Right.
So 25 years ago, we had, the sitcoms Friends, everybody loves Raymond.
Right.
And just like those really popular shows, but it was a handful of them.
Right.
And now it's fucking everywhere.
Yep.
And a lot of people are going, fuck this, I'm going to put it on YouTube for free.
That's...
Check out my web series. Remember that era?
Oh, everybody had a web series.
Everybody and their mom had a web series.
Yep. And now everybody has a podcast.
Everybody's got a podcast. It's just...
Which is fine. It's good.
Fine.
I
It's
enjoy
cool.
it. I think it's great.
But the industry, and I'm kind of like poking the bear here, but like the industry sucks so much, and it's so saturated that people would just rather watch the podcast or watch the web series and support like the local shit.
Right. Right. Well, that's
people would rather do that.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where podcasts are. I do remember.
Conan
like, the
has
beginning.
one.
Oh,
His show's done.
Oh yeah,
it's done, and now he's got his thing, and he just took his audience with him, and good for him. That's great. And everybody's doing one now.
Everybody, and I think it's wonderful. I do. I just it's like I don't know what the future holds for. I don't know, and I try not to. I've always, since I've been a professional actor since for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And granted I was a kid, but I was very aware of changes, things coming and going, and trends, and technology, and you just kind of you gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
You gotta be you got to ride the tide,
You gotta ride
baby.
the wave. Yeah, you do.
And that's part of
Show's end. Guess what? You're fired.
that's part of
Go
like,
do it again.
are you like, are you in it for the long haul? Are you an artist who is committed to your craft?
Yeah.
Or are you one of those people who's just trying to get famous, or, you know?
That's the key difference, is that
yeah.
there's so many people that have that desperate energy that's just like, I want to be famous. Like, no, you don't.
Right,
No,
right.
you don't.
And everyone's so
You
frustrated.
know?
This industry sucks. I'm not getting anything. I might as well just go back home. And
Yeah,
it's
'cause,
like,
well, that's
and
gonna
I'm
create more
not knocking
problem.
anyone that can't afford.
Right.
Like, this is a very expensive city, and we are extremely, I say privileged. It shouldn't be this way.
Yeah.
But we are. We're in a position that a lot of people say, I couldn't fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
I could not live there. Because it's not that they don't have the hustle. It's just that it's not everyone can live this
Right.
lifestyle because they're unable to, not because they're not tough enough and they can't hack it. This
Yeah.
just is not doable for a lot of
the people
people.
that care about it so much are gonna, that care about it aren't gonna care. All right, I'm in a studio apartment.
Right.
I'm waiting tables
Yep.
while trying to do this other thing at the same time.
Right.
And it's.
I'm eating ramen. I'm
Yeah.
eating, every night. But it's your where are your priorities?
Yeah.
And if your priorities are in your craft and in your art and what you do, and using your voice to say something, to me, I've always been. I've always just had this strong motor in me to express myself.
Yeah. And you've touched it. You've gotten there.
I have.
You've touched the surface.
I have.
Because not to like pander, but like
Yeah.
you were on Malcolm in the Middle.
I was on Malcolm in
And
the
that
Middle.
was-
I played 2 different characters. I've played Chevy Chase's daughter.
Yeah.
And a pilot with Lauren Michaels. Lauren Michaels, hired me a few times.
Yeah.
And it's
when you got there.
Yeah.
And then the show ends. It's over.
we
and
were
then it's like,
99.9% sure that the pilot with Chevy Chase was going to get picked up, and regardless of what you think about Chevy Chase as a person, which I know is not.
He's more old school.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And he struggles with mental health issues and a lot of
Who
stuff.
doesn't?
Right. His is pretty bad, but again, regardless of what you think about him as a comedian or a person or whatever, it was still a very the experience that I had. I was 15 when I booked that, and it was the biggest thing at the time that I had. That had happened in my career. It's the closest I've ever come. Like as a kid, it was always like I dreamed of SNL.
Oh yeah.
And it's as close as I've ever gotten. And when you have those experiences, like we were in our table read, we had Jimmy Fallon, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, all of these people who I looked up to immensely, and it was surreal.
Yeah.
But they were our audience for one of our table reads, and to like say something and then to like hear Jimmy Fallon laughing, regardless again of what you think of these people, it means something. It meant a lot.
They're
it means
professionals and
who have made it.
the money's nice, but they're not really. I don't even think they're thinking about like the money either.
No.
'Cause they're thinking it's work.
Right, it's work,
It's
and
work.
and to be given a job like that where you are paid to make people laugh, and to have people laugh, to have that feeling of making other people laugh, and to know that that's your job is just like it is. It's overwhelming, and it's so amazing, and to have that as part of my consciousness. Like to have experienced that is something that nothing can ever take that away from me.
Right,
So it is there. It's like, well, if you've experienced that before, and not to say like you want to recreate something that's already happened, but what you can do, and you know the things that you are capable of because they've happened before.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm as a grown woman now, it's like, I've been through so many different phases of my career as an actor, but I've always been a creator. You know, my whole thing when I was a kid, the whole reason my mom put me in acting classes was because my dad bought a camcorder like a few days before I was born. And one of my projects that I'm doing currently right now is I'm digitizing all of my 8mm tapes.
I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
So just little you.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, it's all me. And I was such a storyteller from a very, very young age. That, you know, I've always known that when I was a kid, like, it wasn't just acting. It was, I wanted to just tell stories and to create things and to express myself with other people and put things out there. And I always wanted to do that. And so it's like, now, you know, when you start to do it in a business where you are, it's like there's money involved. There's
the not so fun parts happen, you know.
I've never been.
You got to send out the emails. You got to do all the stupid like bureaucratic shit that kind of like it's the stuff they don't teach you.
Right. And when you're a kid, that's your parents are doing all that. Yeah. And then, you know, the older you get, the more I had to start doing all that. That's when I started to go, wait, what? Like, God,
this is why they call it a business.
Right.
Oh, great. You know, it's not just like this fantasy land where you get to play pretend in a sandbox.
And so I went through a serious mental breakdown when I was 21, because I was like, I didn't know what it was, who am I?
Yeah.
What am I?
You had a little bit of an existential crisis?
Oh, yeah. Like a midlife crisis at 21.
Oh, God. It's too young to have a crisis.
Oh, it was a big crisis, too, because, you know, it was like, you're not just, it is an industry. You are a product.
Right.
As much as you don't want to think of yourself that way. People are, you know, purchasing you as a product to put on their show.
Yeah, and you get the mailbox money and says like, hey, Rheagan Wallace, 26 cents for episode 365 of this, whatever. And you're like, I'm rich.
Yeah. So it's like, it's you that is ultimately being judged. And, you know, as a young adult, a young
woman too.
And a teenager.
Body image stuff, teenage in general,
The early 2000s were very cruel to young women. I will just say, as far as body image things goes, and all of my roles, like, you know, Paris Hilton was like everything during that time. So I would get a lot of young Paris Hilton type, Paris Hilton type, Paris Hilton type, and it was like any blonde, you know, whatever. But it's like you're asking these young. I mean, at the time, she was only famous for a sex tape. Yeah, and
comparing them to her.
Right.
You know,
Which
you could play that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could play that. The psychosis is like, am I that?
Right.
You know.
But then also, like, my role on the Chevy Chase pilot was my character breakdown, the description was, this girl is a mix between Reese Witherspoon in Election and Legally Blonde.
I see that.
So it was like perfect for me.
I do see Reese Witherspoon.
Oh yeah,
I
we even have the same initials.
I see it.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah,
oh my God,
the R-dubs.
If there was an SNL audition where you got to parody her in some way, you're on that.
Yeah,
you're on that.
Yeah, it would be a good one. But so that was a perfect role for me. I did a lot of Reese Witherspoon type a lot too. But
I get drug dealer and fucking burglar from Home Alone.
I was about to, exactly. That's where I was going with that.
Like, why am I the villain?
Carnival worker? Just kidding.
Yeah, I like
maybe when you had the beard.
Yeah, when I had the beard. Yeah, when I looked like I sold exotic birds from a shipyard.
Good call. Good call.
Like I could do Better Call Saul, and I don't pay attention to all this shit. You know, like you have to find your branding, and
you do.
That means I have to subject myself to watching these shows, and I have to be
gotta know the tone.
I gotta know the tone, but I don't care enough.
I know. It's rough. Like I've had to like I know what I look. I know what I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not, and not to say that there's anything wrong with a lot of the types that I do go out for. But like, you know, I there's certain shows that I, you know, have had to watch because I know that they're my type of, you know, like I'm talking like Hallmark stuff, like things like that. It's like, and no, I'm not knocking.
Yeah.
I would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm not knocking it at all. But, you know, it's not my choice of entertainment per se, personally.
Well, you don't want to work on a project you like, you know.
Yeah.
Like my mom was in TV. She worked on a bunch of sitcoms. She didn't watch any of the shows. She didn't give a shit.
Right.
Because if you like the show, then you're like obsessed and you're like, I'm on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, can I get your autograph? And it's like, no, your mind's not in the workplace.
But there was something about like on Malcolm in the Middle. Like everybody who worked on that show loved that show.
Yeah.
Like everybody who worked on the show thought the show was hilarious. And it was just, and that was one of the most fun, cool sets to be on because everyone knew that they were worked on a great show, and every time you'd tell somebody, I work on Malcolm in the Middle, they'd be like, I love that show, you know. So the dream for me, if I had to say like what my ultimate goal in life and my career would be to have an awesome like dark comedy show. On an HBO, and for it to have a considerably good run, not too long but not too short, and just to have it be a show where you can go anywhere and say you worked on it and have somebody be like, I fucking love that show, like a Barry or like something, you know. Whereas I don't know anyone that's ever watched that show that's been like, didn't do anything. Like everyone I know who has at least sat down and actually gotten into that show is like, that show is amazing.
That's the one where
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader's a fucking sleeper cell or some shit.
Yeah,
he's joins an acting school.
Yes, with Henry Winkler.
I know the plot of the show. I just haven't seen it, but it's a good premise. It's really fun.
But it's just the way. That's the thing. It's like it's a comedy, but it's very dark.
Yeah,
very dark. And that's, to me, it's like that perfect balance of, because I've cried through those episodes, but yet I've also just been in you know, fits because of how, you know, hilarious some of the situations are. But the thing is, like, to me, the line between comedy and drama can be so light, so fair.
Yeah.
Because as an actor, like, you know, you've got pretty much everyone can come to a general consensus of things that are sad.
Yeah.
You know, your dog dies. That's sad. Like, things are sad.
I won't watch Marley and Me for that reason.
Exactly.
I won't watch it.
Everyone
I know
knows
exactly what that movie's about.
Everyone knows things. Like, we can all, I mean, obviously there's people out there. But anyone, generally speaking, knows we all share things that are sad. But like comedy, laughing is just not, it's not that way. It's not like you can generally say something and you know that that's going to be sad, or you know that that's going to be funny. That just doesn't work the same way. So as an actor, it's always, to me, comedy is harder.
It is harder.
Way harder, than drama. But at the same time, comedy is just drama, but like heightened a lot of the time.
I could see that. Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's you have to still buy into a situation, like especially if you're a straight man, or you know, like because you're not, like, I was just talking about this with my friend recently, like. When you have comedic actors who are like, I'm a comedic actor, and you're like, well, that's great, but there's so much comedy that is, we all know, like, you know, very understated. Like even The Office is a very grounded show. It can be literally someone's eye moving.
Just an eye movement, or the camera zooms in just a little bit, and then it's automatically like the way it's shot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or how music can change the tone of it. Like if you had like, a famous scene from a slasher film, and then you put Nickelback as the soundtrack.
Automatically
now it's
funny.
Hilarious.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. So there's like certain that's why comedy, it's just as, in my opinion, can be just as subtle as a dramatic piece.
Yeah.
But bring out a completely different reaction. So I've always just had fun playing with that concept of what reactions and what emotions and what feelings people feel when they're watching whatever it is that you're doing. Like when you there's so much different genres of comedy.
Yeah, 31 flavors. Some of it's fucking racist as fuck,
right?
And I don't like it, but some people like it.
And
good for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like recently, people were kind of talking about Jon Stewart's take on Tony Hinchcliffe's joke.
Yeah.
Because Jon Stewart defended his jokes. And,
he did? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
That's something.
He came out and he was like, hey, he said, here's the deal. Was having a roast comedian come out and roast your voters a good idea? Was it a good idea?
I don't think
no.
so. Yeah.
But he's just doing what he does.
He's doing what he does. That's who you booked. They had to have looked over his material before they...
Yeah. He's literally, the Tom Brady roast, he got a lot of notoriety for that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, he was, and what I think Jon Stewart, I pretty much always agree with Jon Stewart on everything. But what I think he kind of missed there is that normally Tony Hinchcliffe is roasting people who have agreed to be roasted. They've consented
to roasted,
to the roasting. Those people did not consent to be roasted.
No, and also it's not a comedy show.
Right, yeah. Like, why are you even there?
Say that a Trump rally is a comedy show.
Right.
We can say that, sure.
Touché,
yes. There's a point to be made there. But it's kind of oil and water.
Right.
There's a time and a place.
A time and a place.
Like, those jokes would definitely get a better reception if it was at a comedy club.
Right.
But this is the national stage where there's plebs out there that will say things. There's people that say, "Oh, you can put that in your little skits." Those
are the thing. Yeah.
Those are the people that are hearing that and saying, "Oh, this is real."
Yes,
and
exactly.
we're not taking it as a joke.
Exactly.
It's more of a fucked up, punching down, bullying type of thing.
And I think when you step onto a stage like that, behind a podium like that, you assume a responsibility.
Yeah.
That is not the same as a comedy club.
Yeah, it's if it was at a comedy club, sure, go ahead.
For it.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
In fact,
have a great time.
In fact, if I was watching that set at a comedy club, I'd probably laugh too.
Right.
But
the shit he said the shit that he
Yeah.
said during the Tom Brady roast, a
Yeah.
lot of it was super crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you're coming in with the intention
it's
to
what
laugh
yeah,
and
it's
make
still a joke.
fun,
Right. It's still a joke.
I'm not, you'd never catch me dead at a Trump rally, but
right, well,
if I were to go to a Trump rally.
Right. Let's just put that out there, hypothetically.
I would go because I care about the issues, whatever,
Those people that go to Trump rallies don't think like
They
us,
don't think
Jake.
like that because he's a game show host.
Right, because he's a celebrity.
He's a celebrity. And it's like, ask us, go back in time. Let's go back 20 years ago. Hey, the host of Fear Factor is interviewing the host of The Apprentice for real. For realsies.
For realsies.
On a fucking presidential election. Like, this is crazy.
That's what it doesn't because I thought I was laughing, for a lot of his campaign back in the day.
Oh, my shirt where he's shooting himself?
Right.
Back in 2016 was just like, this is funny. This is a joke. And all of a sudden he's surging. I'm like, oh, damn, this is something else.
Okay, and we were living in Texas for a lot of the time.
2016?
Yeah, when we moved here, it was June of 2016 when we got here.
Yeah, and y'all were riding for Ted Cruz at that time. He was like a close second, I think.
Oh, yeah. And it was like, okay, it was starting to just, the temperature was starting to change.
Yeah.
In our surroundings. And people were just getting, it was like, the people that there's always been those people.
Yeah.
But then it was like, they're not afraid of letting it all hang out now.
Right.
And now they're not just keeping it in their garages and in their homes but now they're emboldened to go out in the world and say these things and do these things that they know are wrong.
Yeah.
That's these things is that these people that support his rhetoric and are like woo.
Yeah.
They know that shit's fucked up. They know it. They know how other people view it.
Yeah, it's bastardized the whole process of our own democracy. And other politicians are following suit.
Right. And I will say, I do want to put it out there, and I know this is going to sound like I don't want it to sound a way, but it probably will. I know that there are good people out there who have put in that little circle for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And when I say good people, I mean like, because I know I have family members that I sit around and have laughed with and joked with, especially recently after my mom passed away. And it's like, you kind of when it is because like a death happens in your family and all these other things start to come to you, like, okay, you know, we need to get along, we need to, you know,
in like the wake of all that.
And so I know I have people that I love dearly and that I do believe are sincerely amazing people. They're beautiful people, but I know how they're voting because I just know if you have, I don't think you can, I'm not making excuses.
It must be a single issue then, because there's definitely those folks
but it's
that are
just
single
the
issue.
ones that are just, it's not even an issue. It's just being Republican.
Yeah.
It's just, they're
Red
not
team, blue team.
Yeah.
There's
and
no,
it's and if there is a single issue, the issue is Christian values.
Christian values, yeah, which is just backwards to me. Because the guy has had multiple affairs,
right?
Different baby mamas,
right?
And you know those sexual allegations that go back pretty far. It's astounding to me, how people will still ride or die despite having those core values.
It's such the juxtaposition between you know, like saying the Christian values and then the actions.
Yeah.
Like the actions and the words don't match each other.
It could go the other way too, because you know I'm gonna vote blue. You know,
sure.
To my you know, and I'm still like biting my lip as I do it.
I know a lot of people
because it still feels a little shadow government-y to me.
I know,
and that's really the only thing that makes it, because I have a little conspiracy theorist in my head. You know?
And
we didn't vote. She because of the circumstances. Joe dropped out.
Right.
And then she's
because she was a person. Oh, I get it. I totally get it.
But it's still at the same time. I'm like, this wasn't our choice.
Right.
You know,
and I feel that,
and I'm still gonna do the thing,
right?
And I'm gonna circle in, you know, Mamala as she said, and it's because of, it's not even just me, because I'm a straight white dude,
right? I'm
honestly not affected either way this shit swings. It's the other people that I care about, you know, that matters to me.
That's important.
And you know, and my mother hasn't voted in 50 years.
Wow.
And she never gave a shit because, well, the Kent State massacre happened, and she was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, she wasn't like that for a long time until 2016, because she would bark and complain, and this was the first time I called my mom by her first name. And I was like, Maggie, let's go vote. Quit bitching. Let's go vote. And then you can go, you know,
and then you can
bitch and
complain.
moan all the way to the heavens. And you know, she cried herself to sleep that night. And it was and she goes like, this is why I don't. I'm like, okay, Mom, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'm physically going, look at this shit. Look at this fucking shit. It's all in Korean.
Like,
it's all in Korean.
That shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
No.
Why does the government think I'm Korean?
And it has your name on it?
It's got my name on it. So this would check me out.
Yeah.
I am the politically non-binary person. We're like, fuck this shit. I don't care. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And it is giving me a bit of a mental breakdown where I'm like, why the fuck should I give a fuck if the government's gonna send me the wrong shit? I can't even fucking read it.
Right.
You know, why
that's
care?
The thing is that I think, and that's a good point. And I think that
I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go do it.
There's
I'll just get up early. I'm gonna do it on a Monday. I'm gonna go do it.
I'll say a good thing to do is find a good voter guide that you can, because
Oh, Google. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
there's
not sending in a ballot I can't read.
right. No, yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
You
gotta
know?
go. If you, it took me like 3 hours to fill out my ballot because I just wanted to be sure that
Yeah.
And I'll never vote blindly.
Never.
But
no.
I understand. The thing is, I understand a lot of people's trouble and issue big time. I do with voting. Democratic, even
We're not perfect.
right. No, and that's
far
the thing
from
is,
it.
it's not someone that you're marrying.
Yeah.
It's a political figure. It's someone who is going to be making decisions and choices for the people, and it's the leader of our government.
Yeah.
That's what the president is. So it's like, okay, I understand, because I even myself, when I was in my 20s, I voted third party. Because I was disenchanted with the things that I thought were promised.
Protest
That,
vote.
Yeah.
I feel that too. Yeah.
And I did that, but I have feelings about what I did back then. Because I just feel like I feel like I didn't really understand, because a party, when you're running as the president of that party, you're running as the president of that party, the leader of that party.
Yeah.
So when you've got like the Green Party, who just keeps saying 5%, we just need 5%, like every 4 years, and all they do is every 4 years they come out and say vote every 4 years. What are they doing in between those 4 years to grow their party?
Yeah.
Because I don't like the two-party system either.
No, I don't.
I don't think it should be a red versus blue.
Yeah. Have you noticed it's gone like, okay, it was Bush, Clinton, Bush again,
Right.
Obama, Trump. Like, it's a coin flip every
You're right.
time, and it
Yeah.
just feels like 4 steps forward, 6 steps back.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't think that that's right either. I don't think the Electoral College works anymore, obviously. We know that's an extremely outdated and stupid way to do things.
It's old. People can read now.
There's like 7 or 8 different states that have agreed to, that have like come on the record and said that they would agree to a popular vote, switching to the popular vote, which we could do. But each state has to get on board with that.
Right. Or like 2/3 or something.
Yeah. So it's like, so there's that. Ranked choice voting is an option, but ranked choice voting, it would also be a little confusing to a lot of people. And I think people need to understand, we need to get away from making things complicated.
Right.
Like the Electoral College is super complicated. Nobody can really understand it. So it's like, we need to, but in order for change to happen, you have to elect people who are going to vote on the changes and enact the things that you want. And that's why voting is important.
Yeah.
Because, our system is right now designed in a way where things are designed to take like 30 years for actual change to happen. But it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And I think that, voting third party, a lot of people are upset and all that. But instead of just going out and voting third party every 4 years, if that's the party you want to stick to, do something to try to grow that party.
Yeah.
Do something aside from election year. I know we're all busy and we all have lives.
Yeah,
but
we all have
if
our lives.
if you are invested enough in politics and in what you're voting on to vote third party, to even have an opinion like that, then you probably could spare some time to go and invest yourself a little bit in that party, and figure out, is that leader, is Jill Stein a good leader?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And
that's my personal opinion.
And could she do the job, the job itself? Because the president, there's
she's
so
having
much.
Dinner with Putin. So
have you
just
seen what it does to people? Like, it aids the shit out of
absolutely.
every single one of them.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So you have to think about, like I don't support Democrats' policy on Israel or anything that's going on. I'll just go ahead and just say it.
Yeah.
But of course I'll say that. But I also know that, and it is in that sense, it is the lesser of two evils.
Right.
Because this other party,
truly,
that the other party, that other president is gonna obliterate Palestine off the map.
Yeah.
It won't exist anymore.
Yeah, and that's scary, you know.
He wants to level that place.
Mm-hmm.
So
A comic said a joke on like, have we thought of the casino option?
That-
Like that's so fucked up.
but it's so fucked up. But that's like
you know.
that's the reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll change and he said, I'll change the joke if the world changes, and that got an applause break. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to laugh at that. That's
a great,
it's a good
that's
joke.
fantastic.
Yeah, come to the higher mic, dude.
I know, I
Yeah,
miss it.
I know,
I've had stuff.
Yeah, you got stuff
That's the
going
thing
on.
is I haven't
Yeah.
really felt like lately, like, I've had all, you know, the short films and
the life, the
and
film, we had to reschedule because your kid broke her foot.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Like I've had a lot.
Life
going
gets
on.
in the way, which
It
I
does.
think this would be a unanimous thing that that AOC proposed is make
Yeah.
Vote Day a national holiday.
Why
So
is it not?
We
Yes.
stopped the world for 2 years. Can we stop?
Can we just for one day to go vote on
every
something?
four-
It's like kind of important.
We stop our shit on Christmas.
For real.
We stop shit on New Year's,
Yeah.
and that's every year.
Right.
How about once every 2 to 4 years? Like
4th
okay,
of July.
Everything
which, like,
fucking stops.
Yeah.
Go vote on the thing. Do your due diligence and your research, whatever
Right.
you got to do. Don't go to work. Don't do shit.
Yeah.
Go
Sit
fucking
at
do
home
the
or
vote.
go do the vote and
Yeah.
figure out read
It's
up,
not hard.
read some articles.
Yeah.
The voter guide I used is Courage California. It was really great. It was a progressive voter guide and it really broke down like all the different measures and judges and everybody into a way that I could easily understand.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that for me right now, I do want to get back. I want to get back to open mics. I haven't been like dedicating myself to actually like coming up with jokes. Like jokes have been it's such a weird place for me right now
Yeah.
because comedy, like stand up specifically is something that I feel like I sort of I get inspired at certain, like I have to be like I'm just in a place right now where I have not felt.
You haven't felt funny.
Yeah, yeah.
I get that. And it's solo work because it's stand-up,
Yeah.
it's all you, the
Exactly.
individual,
Yeah.
Because there's people out there that just burn themselves out and go to 10 mics a day, and it's like, what are you
Right,
doing?
right, exactly.
you know?
Yeah. And
then
I
there's
can't.
the opposite where like, I need to like be in the mood.
Yeah, I
to
kind of
do
have
it.
to like.
Yeah.
I kind of have to have myself in a place. Otherwise, I just get up there and then I get mad at myself because I did it. I forced myself to do it when I know
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be. But it's like as people who have. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. Actually, can I do that?
That's fine. Yeah. That's all good.
I just, like,
Ooh,
I'm
Rush.
starting to
You
feel- Yeah,
got the Rush shit going.
Got my Rush,
Nice.
baby. Yeah, I love Rush. Did you a total topic
good.
switch?
Uh-huh.
Did you hear that Herb from
Primus quit?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the
just
fuck?
like out of fucking
Just out of
nowhere.
What the fuck? There must have been some beef. There's gotta be. It can't just be out of
He
nowhere.
said he lost his passion for playing.
Something happened. Yeah.
I don't know.
If
They had a whole nother like year of like touring.
well, they were touring with Tool.
Oh yeah, I went to Sasanta. I went to the 420 show.
You did that. That's right. Yeah, I
went
wanted
the
to ask you
Hollywood
about that
Bowl.
actually.
Yeah. It was I mean, I've been to a lot of shows. I've been to a lot of Tool shows specifically. But I think just as far as like a concert experience goes, that is like in my top 5.
Top 5?
Absolutely. If not one of the
Wait, so what was the lineup?
yeah.
It was
Primus,
Primus.
Pussifer, and it was Primus and Pussifer and oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking.
Perfect
out.
Circle?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect Circle. But they all played together on stage at the same time.
At the same time?
And
Oh my
then
God.
we at the LA show got a special treat that no other show did.
What happened?
All the members of Tool came out and they did
fuck.
Enema.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, well, dude, Maynard hates LA.
Well, I mean,
that is kind of special though. Too.
It was very special.
Yeah, because he doesn't play here.
No, and to have the whole, like, my daughter, she's 15. This was before her 15th birthday, so she was still 14. But she was she grew up on Tool big time, and Tool's like one of her favorite bands. And, and she has yet to get to go to an actual Tool concert. But that night, like, we didn't know Tool was going to come out.
Oh, fuck.
And,
You didn't
and
even know.
then they
Oh, my
surprised
God.
everybody.
I know the pieces fit.
Yeah. yes. Then I watched them fall away.
And you...
You're
such a nerd for Tool.
I know. But they so when they came out, like it was like, you know, you just started hearing the hey, and everybody's like, wait, what? You know, he's like, I had some friends. He said something like, you know, I had some friends that I snuck in through the back door, or something like that.
Oh, that's fun.
And then they came out, and then my daughter cried.
Aww.
Like she had tears streaming down her face, and she was like singing along. I have video. It was so great.
Oh, hell yeah.
But that was just cool. So like as
Did
far
she
as
look
just,
at you
like,
when the lyric came up, fret for your pilot?
Oh, yeah. Or fuck these dysfunctional, insecure actresses. Yeah. That's always a fun.
I love that song.
That's always a fun line.
fact, did you know that Maynard wrote that song shortly after the Northridge earthquake?
Oh,
94?
that makes sense.
He was living here.
That makes sense.
He was living in North Hollywood
Yeah.
at the time.
Wow.
The earthquake happened, and he's like, I have an idea for a song.
That's so great.
Let's
That's
write
so
Enema.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. It's a fantastic song.
I love that song.
It's a fantastic song. It's one of my favorite Tool songs.
Did you feel there was like a small earthquake in the summer?
Oh yeah.
It was like at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah. It woke me up.
It
Yeah.
woke me up. My first thought was
Yeah. Learn to swim.
Arizona Bay, learn to swim. I rolled over to like the side of my bed, just kind of like, am I gonna learn to swim today?
Yeah. Is this the day that I learned to swim?
Is this the day? And I'm checking my shit, like, oh, my emergency kit expired actually.
Oh.
So I have to update my, because the
I think
emergency
a lot of us
rations-
realized we needed to
Yeah,
update some things.
There's like the packaged water and like
Right.
some like the military-esque looking
The-
like food rations.
yes, the little
They're like 5
packaged-
years old. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we got to get another kit in
Yep.
case the fucking shit
'Cause
goes
you don't
out the
know.
window. Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know.
No,
you can't
for
forget
real.
these things.
Yep. I have a good stash of water. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the canned goods and the things like that I realized are probably not sufficient
God,
anymore.
and the non-Californians, they wake up, they're scared.
Oh, I know.
And
yeah.
my first instinct is like that Tool song, dude. We
Yep.
gotta fucking like
Yep.
here it comes.
Yep, exactly.
I kind of want it low key, like secretly, a little bit.
Yeah, there's like a
I don't want people to die.
We don't want that.
Because that would suck so much.
No, and I don't want people's homes to be destroyed.
Right, but I
don't
want
that.
people to leave.
Right,
There's just too much. There's too many people.
There are
We're
a
gonna have
lot
the
of
Olympics
people.
here in a couple of
I
years.
know.
This
Can you
past
imagine?
Friday, the Dodgers in the World Series.
Oh yeah, Rams.
There was a
it was
Laker
like
game. There was a Rams game. USC had a game. There was a concert.
I was
all
in
at
that
the same-
traffic.
all at the same time.
I was in that traffic.
On top of the regular people traffic.
Yep. It was
On
bad.
top of I have an audition at 3:00
I
in the
got
afternoon.
I was
Fuck.
legitimately
God.
pissed off for the first time in traffic in a long time.
And I'm just like,
And I don't get pissed off in traffic because I just accept it.
We live it. We accept our
Yeah.
situation.
It's my music time. I don't really, as
for
like
sure,
a
yeah.
grown person these days, it's like,
100%.
you don't have time to just like sit around and listen to music unless you're sitting in traffic.
And I don't know if this is a secret to you, but this might be a secret. So when I'm driving, when it's peak traffic, I don't drive on a street that has an on-ramp. If it means if you take a street,
that's a really good-
because it's not the fastest way there, but you're sitting, not
That's
moving.
very true.
And it seems like, oh, this is the fastest route, but everybody's going the fastest route. You take the street, Fulton, for example. So Woodman has an on-ramp. Coldwater Canyon has an on-ramp. Fulton does not. So you take Fulton to wherever you're going. There's
the
no
option.
on-ramp, so there's not as many cars.
Right,
on the
right.
So if it means going a little bit out of your way, like when you
It's
go to,
faster, but
it's
the
faster.
mileage is more, but the
miles is a little more, but it's a little faster. So if I'm going to Hollywood, take Laurel Canyon.
Oh,
You take
yeah,
Laurel Canyon.
absolutely.
It's a slower drive, yes.
But
does it
right.
feel longer? Yes.
Yes.
But am I in bumper to bumper?
But am I moving?
With everybody else going that way?
Right.
Like, I got curious. He's like, let's fire up the GPS to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It says get off at Franklin or get off
Do
at
you
the
use
Hollywood Bowl.
Waze? What do you use?
I did Google Maps. So
See, I like Waze because Waze.
it shows you the different routes and all that.
Yeah.
Get off at Gower. Bitch, I'm getting off at Vine.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
Cahuenga.
But
No,
see-
everybody's on Cahuenga.
But
Fuck
see,
that.
when I go against Waze's suggestion,
Yeah.
I always end up going, I should have
Because
listened.
everybody else is thinking it too.
Yeah.
Everybody else is
Because
thinking it. It's tricky.
Yeah, one time recently, I was like, fuck you, Waze. And I was like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I but then I realized I was stuck on it was an on-ramp. It was a street with an on-ramp.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. And suddenly
Yeah.
I'm stuck in this line of cars. And I was like, God, this is what Waze was trying to tell me. And I didn't listen.
I have a joke where I say COVID should have played its A game. It's just too many.
There are a lot of people here. And, I think that one reason, if we had better designed, but in order to like redo the streets, then that's like construction. And like, how do we get around then? And then like, how do we?
And then it's even worse.
Right.
It's
so
even worse because
there's really no way to fix it other than just
the 110 freeway
get out of
caught
here.
On fire one time.
I remember that.
That got fixed very quickly.
Yep. Very
because
fast.
Traffic, it's a common issue that we all care about.
Yep.
Why can't we have that same energy for other bad things?
Yeah, for
right
real.
Now? The homeless issue, the population,
God.
the rent thing.
Dude.
It's like, why can't you put that same energy? Hey, Newsom, it's important to keep your house clean. Why did you clean the house when the fucking leader of China showed up?
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
I know.
Why can't we do that all the time?
It's
Oh, we have a visitor. Got to clean the house. Why can't you just keep your fucking house clean?
Yeah.
I
got to say personally, I am guilty. If I didn't have somebody come over to my house,
Right.
my house would never get
It'd
clean.
be a mess, and I get that, but it's like.
But I'm not the state of California.
I know. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
It bothers me so much.
Yeah. Hold on.
Your kid's calling you?
My kid's calling.
Yeah. Oh, is it important?
It might be.
We're gonna pick you up from school.
Hold on.
You gotta pick her up from school.
Hello. It might have been a butt dial.
It's a butt dial.
Let's see. I think because
What time is it now?
Dad is supposed to.
It is almost time for school to get out.
Well, yeah.
For her.
Hold on. Here she goes.
I'll cut this out if she's
Hello?
on.
What did you say you're doing?
I'm on a podcast right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Oh, Mom's doing a thing. At least you're not leaving a kid in like a car seat in the car. It's like, Mommy's gonna do a tight 10.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Here's a tablet. Be right back.
Oh shit! I left her in the car. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
I'll cut that little ditty out.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
That's fun. It's for the clip.
It is. Yeah.
I do. This is going a little long, but the
we're
camera's
long.
still going.
Yeah.
But I do want to close with this because this is piquing my interest.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's because of the shirt. The
Yeah.
red shirt.
Yeah,
You saw Tool on Valentine's Day with your hubs. How was that?
Oh man, no, it was amazing. I'll tell you, because well, I know this is gonna air after. This is gonna air after Halloween, but
Yeah, it's coming out on. This is 11/11 National
okay.
Metal Day. So
it's my doggy's birthday.
It's your dog's birthday. Oh,
It's her golden birthday. She's 11.
She's
on 11.
on 11/11. Oh
Happy
shit!
birthday, Mia.
Yeah, happy birthday to little
The
baby.
little Mia
Aw.
pants. Not every dog gets a golden birthday.
No.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Happy birthday, Mia. Yeah. So my actual favorite Tool concert that my husband and I got to go to together was Tool on Halloween.
Okay.
In Tempe, Arizona.
Oh, nice.
In what year was that? 2015, I think it was.
Hell yeah.
2015. So check this. This is Halloween night. So on Halloween, this was it was a festival called Monster Mash.
Okay.
And it was Coheed and Cambria, Primus, and then Tool. And on this one night 2 was, I don't remember, but Halloween night, that was the lineup, and Tool came out. The entire band, their Halloween costume as a band was Led Zeppelin.
That's hilarious.
So they're all dressed as the different members of Led Zeppelin. They opened
with no quarter.
With fucking no quarter.
I saw that concert because I saw not that show.
Yeah.
But it was.
Oh, that tour.
That tour. Yeah. It was.
Okay.
It was January.
Yeah.
Of next year they opened with no quarter. I'm
and
like,
see,
no!
and our show was the first time they played no quarter in 13 years live.
And I'm a Zeppelin nerd. I love Zeppelin.
I just got chills talking about it.
Yeah, so I'm like, no fucking way they're playing no quarter. Oh my God.
And that concert, because I think that's number one for me.
Yeah.
That concert, like Sasanto was amazing.
Yeah.
Tool's Maynard's birthday, all that. And with my daughter and all that, like that whole experience was up there. But as far as just the concert itself, like the show, them opening with that, and the fact like before Maynard went into it, he was like I got some good news and I got some bad news for you guys, and I'm gonna tell you guys, you want the bad news first? And everybody was like, and he's like,
the bad news first.
He was like, the bad news is we are not Led Zeppelin, and everybody was like, oh yeah, and he was like, the good news is we're going to play No Quarter, and we haven't played No Quarter live in over 13 years. And here it goes. And everybody was like, and I mean, it was just like, whoa. And I have Salival, the Tool album that it's like very rare, and it's like the only album that has No Quarter on it.
So good.
So that show, the kid in front of me, oh my God, during No Quarter, this kid in front of me, and everybody's Halloween, so everybody's dressed up. It's fucking amazing. This kid in front of me, he's like a mummy or something. He's like 18. He turns around and looks at me over his shoulder, and he goes, and he's crying, and he goes, I won these tickets on the radio, and I was like, oh my God, homie, I'm so fucking happy for you. It was so great.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
and they announced it when they played it when I saw them.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like out of nowhere.
They just like went into it
because I know how the song starts, and I perked up, and I'm like smoking weed with my friend. I'm like, no fucking way.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah,
holy shit.
He straight up said like we're playing No Quarter. And said that they hadn't played it. Yeah. So I also got to see. So Danny Carey plays over at the Baked Potato all the time. Yeah. And all the time. Like, just Google it. And he might, like, one time my husband and I, we were sitting around at home and we were talking about it. And I just said, I want to see if he's playing anytime soon. And then it was like, he's playing tonight. So we just went and watched him. Yeah. Mostly he plays with the Doug Webb All-Stars. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
So he's playing jazz. But I've seen him at Baked Potato probably like 5 times now. Mm-hmm. And to watch someone like Danny Carey, who is like one of the greatest drummers of all time. We can all agree on that.
He's definitely on my
I think,
Mount Rushmore.
I think,
drummers.
yeah,
for sure.
So to watch someone like him pull up in his own little pickup truck, it's like an old vintage something, pulls up in the pickup truck, he's got his kit in the back of the truck. He loads in his kit by himself.
All is on his own?
Sets up the kit by himself.
That's so humble.
He went up to Kylie one time and asked her if she wanted to help him carry in a cymbal or two. And she was like, no, thank you. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, you be a roadie for Danny Carey. Oh my God.
But I was like, but he's so cool because he like took her one no for an answer. He was like, the woman says no, I'll accept the no. I was like, oh, that's so cute. But he took pictures with us and everything.
Did she understand what she was turning down?
He gave her a drumstick that has his signature on it. Yeah, so she has that like sitting in her room. Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, but so guess what? We also got to witness that night while she was there.
What?
Them playing No Quarter, the jazz version.
Yo.
At the Baked Potato.
Yo. Oh.
Yeah. I was weeping. Others were weeping.
Oh, man.
It was literally like the most moving experience I've ever had with music.
My mom's room is still very like she's a teenager in 1972.
That'll be me
she
too.
has like a flag of Zeppelin in front of their plane.
Oh yeah.
And she's still like
that's great.
My mom
that's
would be
adorable.
she'd react the same way I am. She's huge.
Oh yeah.
On Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Despite all the bad shit they've done.
We don't have to talk about that. We're out of time.
We don't have to talk about that.
But it's Tool to me has always been kind. It's I know that Zeppelin was very, very influential on them as a band.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tool. I am like a total Tool nerd. That's my husband and I.
And you're smart. You're not that elitist fucking Tool fan.
Oh, I know. That give us all the bad name.
Yeah, the ones that go like super deep on like, let's talk about the Fibonacci sequence.
I know, and it's
cool.
Song.
It's cool, but like
it's really cool.
And like, can I enjoy the song? Like,
right, and like
enjoy the song.
When I was, of course, like one of the first reasons I ever when I first as a teenager got into Tool, it's like all that stuff with the Fibonacci sequence and the golden spiral and all that. You're like, that shit's like, what?
It's like genetics, man. He's talking about real deep
wow, and like
evolution, man.
And that's part of the allure of like Tool to me, but it's like now as an adult. You know, I think that's the thing about being a fan of a band for a really long time, is if you're really in it for the long haul, you grow with them, and you kind of evolve with them.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's, you know, loyalty is real, and I you know, despite, like, you know, you may not like their stuff as they get, you know, they mature or get older.
Well, why would you do the same sound over
yeah,
and
that's
over
to
again?
me,
It
it's
gets
like, yeah,
boring.
you want him to change it up, you
Yeah.
know? So I love that Maynard, I mean, yeah, he doesn't scream like he used to.
Yeah.
But do we really want
He's
him to?
60.
Yeah, we don't need that.
He doesn't need to hurt
We don't
himself.
need to be looking. We don't need that. I
Yeah.
don't want to be like when
Yeah.
you know. And he doesn't say. We both want to rape you anymore. He doesn't say those words. He changes the words.
He changed the words.
Because he realized he
Aw.
was like a young 20-something-year-old guy who's
Yeah.
screaming, "We both want to rape you" at people
Right.
and an audience.
Prison sex.
Yeah. Very light topic. So yeah, it's like it's interesting to go see, you know, a band like Tool still put on these shows that, like, despite being the age that they are, you know, it doesn't, their age is just, it really is just a number.
It really is just the number. But also the Rolling Stones are still on tour, and I'm very worried.
Yeah.
I'm very worried. I'm
Yeah.
like, gonna break something?
It really does. It age is a number, but at a certain point. But, you know, I gotta say, I as a fan and as somebody who still wants to be able to go see concerts and go, like, you know, it's like, let them go jump around on the stage
go
as
have
much as they
fun.
possibly
Yeah.
still can.
Enjoy
you know?
your golden years. Like Ozzy retired, you know, like Ozzy's like, okay, all right.
Right. But that guy had a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. You
Yeah.
know, like Maiden's doing their 50th anniversary tour.
Yep.
I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
it's 2 minutes to nap time. Stop it. Stop it. I love you. You've served the metal community for decades, but it's time to.
It's time to.
It's times like these. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm going into the ADHD brain.
No, it's not like this.
It happens so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming over.
Dude, this was so much fun.
Excuse for me to clean up my apartment a little bit.
We all need it.
Yeah,
we all need it.
You needed to vent, and
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here. Plug all your stuff. We're gonna put it all in the description. You're doing movies. Your Instagram.
Yeah. Go follow me on Instagram, Rheagan_Wallace. There's an H after the R, but it's spelled just like the president. And yeah, I've got go follow me. Follow all my stuff. I have, like, you know, there's like stuff on YouTube, all my shorts on YouTube and stuff. If you just go to my Instagram,
It's all in there.
It's all there.
It's all in the description.
It's all in my link tree.
In which I'll put it all in there. You don't have to worry about it.
You
This
got it.
episode's coming out on National Metal Day, 11/11. I'm glad we got a little metal in there.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, Rheagan. You've been wonderful.
This was
All right,
so much fun.
This has been the mental breakdown of Rheagan Wallace. Okay, thanks. Die, everyone.